Sakeo, Thailand. Poipet City, Cambodia, 7 hours after being crammed into a truck with scores of other arrested Cambodian migrant workers, Rim Kim arrived outside the Sakeo immigration police station, groaning and shaking the pins and needles out of his legs. In less than an hour, he was processed by police, handed a small cup of water and packed, once again, into a caged police truck to make the final 7-kilometer journey across the border into Cambodia. Around 200,000 Cambodian migrant workers have returned from Thailand over the course of just 12 days. While many say they are coming of their own accord, fearful amid rumors of crackdowns, arrests and even killings by an increasingly strict Thai military government, others have been arrested in what appear to be well-coordinated raids. "They didn't chase us, they just put us in the truck," said Kim, a 25-year-old who has spent the last 4 years in Thailand working on a fishing boat. "There wasn't any violence, but they took 3,000 baht, $92, per person. They asked our bosses to pay us, then forced us to pay the soldiers." Kim and more than 30 other Cambodian fishermen were nabbed in Hua Hin province after soldiers raided fishing boats and restaurants in the area. "If we stay on the boats, it's okay, but as soon as anyone climbs onto the banks, they arrested us," he said on Tuesday, adding that being forcefully expelled won't deter him from returning to Thailand. "I'll go back to Cambodia, make a passport and come back," he said. "It's a good job there. We make between 15,000 and 17,000 baht, $460-520, every 2 months. Nambarai, another young fisherman outside the immigration police station, said he and others tried to elude the authorities by running into the forest. "When the Thai military came, we jumped from the boat and ran into the forest, but they captured us," he said. Fear of Thai military crackdown forces Cambodians to flee. The Thai government has vociferously denied any such policy. In a statement issued last week, Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesman Sekwanamuthi termed the claims groundless and rumors. No crackdown order targeting Cambodian workers had been issued, he said. The statement added that people had returned home for one of 4 reasons: fear of false rumors, calls from concerned family members, the end of their contracts, or to help plant rice. But for those picked up in the raids, such claims ring false. Kim, Barai, and others arriving from Hua Hin on Tuesday morning spoke of having to pay upwards of 3,000 baht, $92, in fees after soldiers arrested and processed them locally. "They arrested people only to take the money," said Noi Savorn, 38. Savorn, a waitress at a Hua Hin restaurant, and 5 others were rounded up by soldiers who later demanded 4,000 baht, $123, in fees. "When we are working, we keep the money with the boss. When we were arrested, they just took all the money from him," Savorn said. Officials at the Sakeo immigration police station refused to speak, saying they were not authorized to talk with the media. When journalists approached migrants, police allowed interviews but stayed nearby, appearing to listen in. As a group of young men were loaded onto a police truck, an officer inside the cage shouted at them in Khmer, "Don't talk about chasing and shooting by the Thai military. Just say it's something you heard from one mouth to another." From one mouth to another. The rumor mill has played no small part in the mass exodus of migrant workers. Calls from nervous relatives and the rapid spread among workers of tales of Thai brutality have caused tens of thousands to surrender to police or embark on days-long trips to the border. "I was working and I didn't hear anything about a roundup, but our relatives called and said come home because Thailand is in turmoil." Chak Rowan, construction worker. Sem Makara, the deputy chief of staff of the Phuket Immigration Police, said the bulk of returnees had come under such circumstances. "Most of them are scared that the Thai military soldiers will arrest them and they volunteer to go back home by themselves," he said. Chak Rowan, a construction worker who had returned with her 5-year-old daughter in tow, said her family had urged her to return. "I was working and I didn't hear anything about a roundup, but our relatives called and said come home because Thailand is in turmoil." Two older daughters and her husband intended to return next week, she said, after receiving similar pressure from relatives. In Poipet City, stories involving military brutality are rapidly spreading. As the last of the truckloads of workers pulled in on Monday night, shortly before the border closed, a young man sitting on a motorbike near the crossing drew a crowd as he angrily explained what had really happened during a car crash the day before. Thai soldiers shot their tire, he told the group. The car wasn't overloaded, Thai cars are too high quality. Two returning Cambodian migrant workers were killed in Chonburi province on Sunday, after their car blew a tire and flipped over. It followed a similar accident one day earlier, which killed 6 people. In both cases, the story has rapidly become one of Thai viciousness, with many saying they had heard soldiers shot out the tires. I met 4 others who were in the van. They said the Thai soldiers shot their tires because they didn't stop at the checkpoint. The car then rolled and crashed, said Phomforth, 48, who was waiting for Thai authorities to send through the border the body of his 44-year-old sister, Phomforb, and his cousin, 38-year-old Kanchian. A woman, sitting restlessly at a makeshift clinic, beseeched passers-by for information about her son. Thai soldiers arrested my son at his construction site on June 9. I don't know what happened to him because now I can't reach him, she said. An open end. With some 200,000 people returning home, out of a labor force estimated at between 200,000 and 500,000, the question has become, what next? Cambodia relies heavily on remittances from migrant workers in Thailand, and the Thai economy benefits from the labor supply. Many Cambodians working in Thailand do so simply because they cannot make enough to support themselves and their families in their home country. Cambodian immigrants flee Thailand. The next big challenge, the next question, is that all these people have been going to Thailand and they're supporting their family with remittances. It's going to be a big challenge for them to reintegrate back into the local employment labor force, said Brett Dixon, Poipet team leader for the International Organization for Migration. Political analyst Pavan Choshvavelpongpun of Kyoto University predicted that the impact on both nations' economies would be massive. Mostly it will cause an impact on local businesses both in Thailand and in Cambodia. Thai border economy relies much on foreign, cheap, workers. By playing the nationalistic card, the military risks facing further resistance from businesses in the locality, Pavan said in an email. Indeed, even the military government admitted as much, saying in the Foreign Affairs Ministry statement that Thai authorities attach great importance to migrant workers from neighboring countries as they not only help to contribute to Thailand's economy, but also because of the close historical and friendly ties between the governments and peoples of Thailand and those countries. Many of those interviewed on both sides of the border, however, said they intended to remain in Cambodia until the political situation cooled. Others said they would return as soon as they could get their hands on a passport. Amid the chaos of thousands of returning workers, Boon Sophian and Sok Sray Leek patiently waited with their young daughter for a Cambodian military truck to bring them back to their home province of Kampong Chhnang. The couple had spent the past year working in a fertilizer factory making as much as 900 baht, $28, a day between them. Right now, I'm just focused on having my baby, said Sray Leek, who is 9 months pregnant. After that, if it calms down, of course we will go back. If we stay in Cambodia, there's nothing to do. Follow Abby Saif on Twitter, @InStupor. 1961